March 30th, 2026. We do have two public hearings, so we'll begin this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's see. Juan, why don't you start us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Let's take the roll.
Patrick Alpin.
Present.
Jerry O'Neill.
Present.
Edward Wynn.
Present.
Juan Leon.
Present.
Dan Tushin.
Present.
Frank Santos. Greg Axiola. Matt Esposito. Emily Mole. And Rich Schaefer. Rich Casey. So sorry.
Okay, Rich Casey, our attorney. Are you here, Mr. Casey?
Yes.
All right, I thought so.
Sorry about that.
All right, good evening. Before we start this public hearing, I am required to read the statement into the record. The planning board shall have the right to rely on any information that is presented by the applicant. If any such information is later found to be inaccurate or incorrect, the planning board may determine that any approvals, building permits, or other actions previously granted in connection with the application are null and void.
A public hearing, site plan review, job HPLN 2825-62A, Crescent Group Realty, Inc. Applicant proposes construction of a new one-story, 20,000 square foot prefabricated metal manufacturing warehouse building with a 600 square foot office space, 4 overhead doors, and associated site improvements.
Okay, who's here on behalf of the applicant?
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board. My name's Jacqueline Peranto. I'm here representing the applicant, Crescent Group Realty, LLC.
Okay,
I'm the principal at Key Civil Engineering, site engineer for the project. We're located at 664 Blue Point Road, Holtzville, New York, 11742.
okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and have you had the opportunity to review the memorandum regarding this application?
I have.
From the planning commissioner dated the 24th of March 26.
Yes. There was a new one today.
I'm sorry?
There's an updated one dated March 30th.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the March 30th. Okay, what about the March 30th one?
Yes, I did.
All right, are there any issues, any concerns, any matters that are outlined in this memo that you'd like to bring to our attention regarding any of the conditions or any of the covenants and restrictions?
Not at this time. Condition number 22 was added today, which requires further coordination with New York State DEC. So I was unable to make that call this afternoon.
All right, so that's regarding the registry of,
So there's prior contamination on this site, of which a no further action and closure report was issued by DEC. But that condition indicates that we will need to coordinate with them for any further requirements they may need during construction, which we agree to do.
so you agree to the conditions outlined in there?
Correct.
As a requirement during construction?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's fine. Okay,
All right.
all right, why don't you proceed?
Thank you. So the site is located on the west side of Strong Avenue between Cheddick Avenue and Victoria. The parcel is known as 1305 South Strong Avenue, or on the Suffolk County tax map as parcel District 100, Section 198, Block 2, Lot 29. The parcel is a little over 1 acre and is zoned G Industrial. The surrounding parcels to our north and west are also zoned G Industrial, and to the south across Victoria is zoned Residential C. The village of Lindenhurst boundary line is on the east side of Strong Avenue, and those properties are also zoned residential. The project will consist of developing the property for a new 20,000 square foot warehouse and manufacturing building. The building is currently designed to allow for 4 5,000 square foot tenants, each with their own overhead loading door and man door facing the parking lot. The building and parking lot will face Cheddick Avenue, allowing the rear wall of the building to act as a buffer to the residences located on Victoria. A parking lot for 30 vehicles is provided with a two-way access drive off Cheddick Avenue. The parking lot is designed with a wide center drive to allow for larger vehicles, box trucks of the sort to turn around and back into those loading bays. Trash enclosure is also provided on the west side of the lot, and bollards are lining the front edge of the sidewalk to protect the building and pedestrians while still providing access to the overhead doors. The building will be a prefab metal Butler-style building that's enhanced with cultural stone at the base of the building and colored accent panels at the top and corners of the building. The site will be improved with new storm drainage to meet a 2-inch storage volume requirement, as well as handle a 100-year storm event. The site will be connected to Suffolk County DPW Southwest Sewer District Number 3, as well as to Suffolk County Water Authority's water main. The building will have a fire sprinkler service as well as domestic. There will be a new transformer on the property for electric service, and the building will not have gas service. The property will also be enhanced with landscaping consisting of evergreen trees and shrubs to buffer the parking lot and car headlights. Taller evergreen trees are along the parking lot side on Strong, with shorter shrubs, evergreen shrubs along the building, and road frontage of Cheddick and Victoria, and tall evergreens on the west side adjacent to the adjacent industrial parcel. There's also new 3,000K LED building and site area lights. The area lights are mounted 10 feet above grade, and the building lights are 15. The project will also require variances and approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals. The building is proposed as 20,000 square feet. The prior Dayton T. Brown building that was on this property was just about 21,000 square feet for reference. The code only allows a 40% max FAR. We're at 44.2%, so that's one of the variances we're seeking. The code also only allows one overhead door per street frontage. We do have 3 street frontages, but felt it was best to face them all towards Cheddick, which is the industrial side of the property. And we do have 4 overhead doors, 1 per tenant, so that's another variance. Parking, based on the town requirement, we require 32 stalls, of which we're providing 30. We feel that's more than sufficient. That's only a 6.25% variance. And our final ask of the zoning board will be a parking setback along Cheddick Street, where 10 feet is required from the property line to parking. We're providing 5, and that will be planted with evergreen shrubs to block headlights, but we felt it was best to put additional space in the drive aisle to allow the trucks to circulate and turn and back into the overhead doors. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions from the board or public.
Okay, thank you. Do any of the board members have any questions? Juan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. Can you talk about the duration of the construction project and the hours of operation during construction?
The hours of construction would be within the town requirement. If they, I know that if they want to work on Saturdays, there's a special ask at the building department to do so. So, I would say that they're going to follow the requirements of the town building department in terms of the hours of construction. In terms of the duration, it is a prefab building, so I presume it'll be constructed in a little bit of a, I'm gonna say about 8 to 12 months would be my best guess on the duration of construction. And I do believe they're anxious to get started, so.
Are there any other questions from the board? No? Juan, do you have another question?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I
Hold on.
do have a follow-up question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When you say construction, can you specify if that's manufactured or modular or portable?
In terms of the building itself,
Yes.
if I can, I'm gonna turn it over to our project architect to answer questions relating to the building construction. Elizabeth Cohen.
Okay, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Elizabeth Cohn with DeJamo Group Architects, located at 120 North Village Avenue, Rockville Center, 11570.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, please proceed.
This is a pre-engineered Butler building, so it's basically being engineered as a warehouse building. That's, basically a pre-engineered manufacturing building.
All right, may I suggest something? We know it's pre-engineered. What does that mean? What does that mean in terms of, does this come in sections? Can you explain how as opposed to something you'd be building that wasn't pre-engineered?
Yes, it means everything is designed prior to coming to the site, so it will be coming in pieces.
Okay. Counsel?
Everything being manufactured in advance, pre-engineered or however you describe it, how does that get to the site? Does that come on oversized loads, on trucks? Are permits needed for that? Is there a crane involved to put the building together? Are there any other state certifications for the building material in addition to the zoning or planning that's needed that you know of?
I believe that the drawings would be approved by the town as well as the separate engineer drawings, but I don't know the ownership is here as well, so he might be able to speak more to that process.
Sir, you don't have to fill out the card, but you can come up in the meantime, but make sure you don't leave without filling that out and giving that.
Sure. Prior to or after?
Okay, hold on. Please state your name and address for the record.
Dominic Mavelia, 71 North First Street, Deer Park, New York.
Okay, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, could you answer that question for us?
Sure. So it's pre-engineered. They deliver all of the steel and the fabricated parts to the site, and then I subcontract a private erector steel company that will be doing the erection of and putting the building together.
So those will come in pieces?
Yes.
That will then be assembled on the site?
Correct.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Counsel?
In part, and is there a state certification required for a prefab modular building like this?
So it's a Titan building, common throughout the country, and it's, we can get you any kind of specifics as it relates to that. I'm sure that, like I said, it's common. I just don't have the answer.
The reason I ask, sir, is because things like the site preparation and the foundation work will be completed on site, then they'll have town inspections, so they pass whether it's foundation, plumbing, wiring, other things. But in this case, the walls and things are going to come in maybe pre-assembled, right? So how is that regulated?
Right, so we're working with our engineer, site engineer for the foundation, and they're working in collaboration with the Titan to get the anchor bolts correct and the right size foundation. And we're going to be submitting that to the town, and for their approval. Go ahead.
And I think where you're asking is in regard to the panels themselves. So they are under the jurisdiction, there's New York State Building Code, but there's a separate building code for modular buildings. So those walls are constructed under those guise. But I presume there will be fastening, bolting that will happen on site as these panels come together, which will be performed under Chapter 17 of the New York State Building Code. And that will all be outlined on the set of building drawings that will be submitted to the building department and reviewed by your inspectors.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Can you talk about the cleanup that's, as you alluded to, this, in the memo discusses this was a site where there was contamination. What is the process for cleaning up this site? I know you'll be doing that in conjunction with the town.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Sure. We did submit to the planning department the decision of record from DEC, which closes out the spill. If you go on the DEC website, it is a closed spill. There's no further action required by the applicant, the current owner, or the prior owner. As I indicated earlier, this afternoon, I received an additional comment about coordinating with DEC, and I had a conversation with the town environmental department and Emily at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So I will be reaching out to the DEC to determine if there's any other requirements. I presume there might be some soil testing prior to the removal of material from the property, things of that like, but the site is closed, no further remediation is required, and that documentation has been submitted to the board, to the planning department.
And if I could expound on that. Yeah, if I could expound on that 1 second.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, sure.
This is from environmental, sir?
Yeah, so, the applicant is correct. The site is, closed for the, brownfield.
Okay, hold on, let's get the microphone over there, thank you. Let's start from the beginning, please.
So that is correct. The site is closed for, the brownfield cleanup. There's no further action that was, listed in the ROD, but the site is also listed as a state Superfund site. And it's a Class 2. It's a Class 2, which means there's disposal of hazardous waste on site that needs to be cleaned up. So our office has been coordinating with New York State DEC. We reached out to the applicant. They're going to further coordinate with New York State DEC on the proper requirements needed to clean.
All right.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, yeah, it was part of a Superfund, and the DEC came in and removed, I think it was like at the time, I'm going by memory, 700 yards of soil in the proper fashion, obviously, and and that was, cleaned up. I think at the time it was like $700,000 cleanup. So there were no, the contamination happened prior to when the sewers were connected. Right. So they found some basically degreasers in the soil when it was a machine company, was operated by Dayton T. Brown. So then
A lot of the cesspools.
right, in the old cesspools, and then they cleaned that all up, though.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Is there anyone from the public here that would like to address the board? So you could take that and sit down with
Yep.
with that.
I'm
And
just grabbing my-
just give that to Matt when you're finished. Okay, come on up, Matt. Did you fill out one? Did you fill out one? Okay. Okay, we're going to need you to also fill out that paper after this gentleman is finished. So, but in the meantime, please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sakina Thomas. My address is 1295 South Strong Avenue, Copiague, New York. Literally the blue house that you were looking at on the map.
Oh, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swear.
Okay, please proceed.
Yes, as I was stating, my house is directly across from the site.
Okay, hold on, Matt, could you pull up the satellite here? All right. Tell us where your house is, right here?
So it's, yes, that blue house looking directly at the site.
Okay.
So my driveway is on Victoria Avenue because Strong is a busy street. So lucky for me, my driveway is on Victoria. But Victoria is also used by a lot of the neighbors that their driveways are on Strong. It's hard for them to back in and out of the driveway, so a lot of them park on Victoria right across from my house. So I guess my concern is during the planning stage, what precautions they're gonna take to make sure that, our livelihood is not disrupted in terms of like parking and of course, the environment, the dust, debris, all that stuff that, comes with construction site.
Okay, we'll have that question answered by the applicant. Is there anything else you would like to ask us so it's part of the record?
And also my concern is noise, of course, that, comes with, because it's obviously a commercial area, but there's a lot of homes right across from there. And of course, traffic, all the big trucks that I'm expecting is gonna come in for the building, of course. From what I'm hearing, it's a manufacturer building, so there's gonna be trucks coming in and out. So I'm grateful that the driveway for that building is gonna be on Shattuck and not Victoria. Okay, I think that's it.
Thank you very much for coming
Thank
to
you.
the meeting. Is there anyone else that would like to address the board regarding this application? Okay, no. All right. Perhaps you can address.
Certainly. So I think to her point, all of our curb cut, our access is on Cheddick, so that's going to mitigate any concern for neighbors on Victoria, and that's why we situated the building as such.
So just so we're clear
So-
for the record, there will be no trucks going down Victoria. They'll be on the other side
That's correct.
of the building, adjacent to the industrial area there.
Correct.
Okay.
And then during construction, there will be a construction fence around the property, there'll be silt fence, there will be dust control, a construction entrance. There's a soil erosion plan that was submitted with our application along with a stormwater pollution prevention plan because the property is over an acre, so that kind of walks us through staging of materials, stockpiles. The construction entrance is located off Cheddick. Sorry, I don't know what sheet number it is, but that's it right there. So you have a construction entrance off Cheddick, some stockpiles and storage. So everything, a lot of the activity happening on the Cheddick side.
And you're also required to keep the site and the adjacent areas clean during construction. Is that correct?
Correct. Roadways will be sweeped and, cleaned at the end of the workday in accordance with the DEC permit for general construction.
All right. Are there any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Could you give, where is she? Where are you, Arlen? Okay. Did you fill that out for us?
Yes, I did.
Okay, give that to Matt.
I filled it out, sir.
All right. Since there are, I'm sorry, sir. Sir, come on up. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. All right. Could you, when you get here, did you fill out one of these?
No, this is my first time here, so I never.
That's fine. You don't have to fill it out right now, but hold on. You don't have to do it right now. Please state your name and address for the record.
John Zocali, 228 South Strongs Avenue.
Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, please proceed.
I live on Strongs Avenue. I'm like a couple of houses.
Okay, hold on. Let's see if we can pull up the satellite.
Yeah.
You show us.
Okay. Victoria, go across the street on the village side and go 228 right there.
Okay.
So my concern is the trucks. So it's a manufacturer. You're going to have 18-wheelers coming in or whatever it is.
You have to speak to
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My concern is that there's a lot of traffic on Strongs Avenue. And sometimes the manufacturers that you have on the other side, not Victoria, on the other side, it's like a cleaning company. There's a lot of noise going on all night on there. We hear it 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. But my question is this, the 18-wheelers or the trucks coming in the middle of the night, I mean, you said that's going to be on the other side. But my concern is the trucks coming from the south, going up to the north, going to this direction. I just don't know. You say it's a manufacturer. I don't know what really, you say the park is on that side. Is there any way we can get the parking, the trucks to stay on that side? Because there's a lot of activities that are going on in here. I mean, I'm across from Scudder. I can't tell you how many accidents that happen on there. So, I mean, like I always thought, be a one-way street will be nice. Have them come one way up to a certain point and then do, and do two-way from south up. So that's my concern, if we could do something about that on it, that's all I have to say.
All right. Fill that out.
Yeah.
Make sure you fill it out and give the information to Matt once you finish.
Do you want me
All
to
right.
address that?
Do you want to come back up
Sure.
and address
Sure.
the question that was just asked?
So I don't know if you pull the site plan back up, I'll explain. So Cheddick is the top of the page there. So that is where all the activity will be. That's the only driveway into the property to access the building, and the overhead doors is on Cheddick. So, you have passerby vehicles on South Strong to access Cheddick Avenue, which is normal, vehicles on that street. But all of your activity is on the north side of the building, and the building itself is going to buffer it. It's 34-foot tall building that pretty much spans the entire width of that property. So that's your buffer.
Okay.
Excuse me, Pat.
Hold on, Jerry?
Yeah, I think the second part of his issue was possible activity in the evening, at night. Could you talk about when deliveries come or go?
So at this time, we don't have actual tenants. It's not being built for a specific tenant, so I couldn't answer the operations of those specific users. The idea is for it to be the woodworker, the plumber who might be making some cabinets and then having a small office, or somebody to come in and place an order type of a situation, or a carpenter who's storing their materials and then heading to a job site for the day.
All right, okay, understood.
So I have a question. In the leases, what is within the lease that's going to state that if there is anything, tenants have to abide by all state, local, and federal laws? And also, is there a requirement on future tenants abiding by any specific path for trucks to enter into the location so that it avoids as much of residential property as possible?
There is only one way into the property. If the question is how they approach the site, from what highways or local streets, no. There are local streets with restrictions for trucks to be on them, so I would presume a street like Victoria would have something on there, but further into the residential district. I should also respond, there are no tractor trailers. These are like your box trucks, maybe like a landscaper who might have an add-on to a pickup truck. Those are the types of trucks and vehicles that we're anticipating at this facility, so not tractor trailers.
Frank, do you have a question?
Yeah, just, Covenant 17 talks about the hours of operation that you can bring trucks in. Just for the record, can you state that that's one you're going to abide by in Covenant 17?
Yes, we can adhere to that.
So what's the time, what's the delivery?
So deliveries will not be made between the hours of 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, nor between the hours of 10 p.m. and 8 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. Can you agree to that?
It's an existing covenant or
No, it's proposed.
proposed covenant? Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
You're going to have cranes put these modules together, and will they remain on site?
No, once the building's constructed, they would leave. I mean, once the walls are up, the crane would. You asking on a daily basis, or?
Yeah.
No, I presume they'll be there on site until the building's erected. Typically,
Right, so that's going to be a length of time.
No, you're talking about you're talking about days, really. You're talking about days. It goes up
Hold on.
very quickly.
Can you
I'm sorry.
move away so
Sorry.
you can speak directly?
Yes, yeah, it goes up very quickly. They hire us like a day crane operator, so they have motivation to slap up the main steel beams very, very quickly, a matter of days, and then the sheathing is another, and they don't need a crane for the sheathing of the building, so that the steel structure will go up in a matter of days. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
If there's no one else that would like to address the board regarding this application, I'm going to ask for a motion to close the hearing and to reserve decision. Let's see, motion by Frank.
Motion to close and reserve.
Okay, second by Juan.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, the hearing is closed, and we're going to reserve decision. The public hearing, as I said, is now closed. The decision, though, has been reserved in order for us to review the feedback that we've received this evening or any open site plan issues. The record will remain open for written comments and for anyone to follow up on the status of the application or to submit additional written comments. You can contact the planning department in a number of different ways. First is in person. Planning is located on the west wing of Town Hall. Application documents and plans are available for inspection between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or by phone, 631-957-3103. And finally, you can do it by email, planningcomments@townofbabylonny.gov. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Scott? All right, we will now call for our second public hearing.
Item B, public hearing, site plan review, bar restaurant, job HPLN 10, 25-40AF, Saki Asia. Applicant proposes to expand an existing 81-seat bar restaurant into 2 adjoining tenant spaces in order to increase the amount of seats to 126, along with associated site improvements.
Hey, sir, could you please state your name?
Good evening, Matthew Bush, architect on behalf of the applicant, 2615 Union Boulevard, Islip, New York.
And you're an engineer?
Architect.
Architect. Which do you prefer?
I prefer architects.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, please proceed. Yes, you worked hard to become an architect. Okay, go ahead.
So we're here tonight for a special permit for an existing restaurant, planning to move into the 2 adjacent tenant spaces. They're planning to maintain the existing restaurant and bar and expand the restaurant with 10 hibachi tables and a seating area.
Okay, hold on, before you go any further.
Yes.
You've reviewed this memorandum from the Planning Commissioner dated the 25th of March 2026?
Yes, I did have one comment on that.
Okay.
No issues with the covenants that were listed there. The letter did state that it was increasing from 63 to 126. It should state the existing restaurant is 63 seats, and there's 126 additional.
126 additional.
Yes.
So that you combine those two, and that is the number, that's 9?
Correct, and there are 18,
189.
and there are 18 bar seats.
18 bar, okay. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Okay.
So the proposed expansion is roughly 3,400 square feet. It'll be comprised of 10 hibachi tables and 13 dining tables for a total of 126 seats. The existing shopping center has fire alarm and a full sprinkler system. Those will be modified to suit the new construction that would be taking place. As stated previously, the existing restaurant is 63 seats and 18 bar seats. Hours of operation, they'll be open for lunch and dinner, 11:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. We will be applying to ZBA for a parking variance. The calculations come out to a requirement of 542 total spaces, where there's existing 479 that exist on site. Happy to answer any additional questions that the board may have regarding the application.
Could you repeat that again about the parking? I'm sorry, I was...
So 542 is the total requirement. 479 is what is provided on site, and we'll be applying for that variance.
Okay. Do any of the board members have any questions regarding this application? No. So what are the hours of operation? I guess really what I'm going to be driving at is you're seeking a variance from the zoning board regarding the parking requirements.
That is correct.
I assume that the assumption is that some of the other activities that go on during the day will not be at the time this restaurant is open. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're going to be open for lunch and dinner, 11:30 to 10 p.m. There's a host of different tenants in the shopping center now. Tractor Supply occupies or is going to be occupying Building A, and then there's a series of shops and restaurants in the other wing of the building. The lot itself is hardly ever full, so we don't think that parking is going to be a concern, but per our calculations, that's what we come out to.
Where is that? Can we go back to that athletic field I just saw? Right over there. So that's over there by the high school. Wow, I went to that high school. That used to all be clay and just hard. These kids have it easy. That's all I could say.
Everyone gets turf now.
You know, if you were playing baseball out there, let's say you were a shortstop, you would go out there every day and get the rocks out of there because you didn't want a ball to hit it. But now they don't even have to worry about it. And look at that. That used to be our practice field to play football. It was hard as could be. Oh, they have it easy, these kids. Okay. Anybody have any questions? No. All right. Thank you very much. Oh, that brings back memories. By the way, I spent my summers working as a custodian in that high school.
Yeah.
I've scraped more gum off the bottom of desks than anyone could ever imagine. And I learned how to clean, strip, and wax a floor and do all that good work. And I learned how to paint pretty well.
I might need a flooring guy for the restaurant, so.
So you know what? It was hard work, but you got there at 7 o'clock in the morning and you were out by 3. So we rode our bikes. All right, are there any questions you sure from the board? No. All right, thank you. Is there anyone from the public that would like to address the board regarding this application? No? Okay. All right, so since there's no one else who would like to address the board, we have no further questions. I'm going to request a motion from the board to close the hearing and to reserve decision. Let's see, motion by Ed to close the hearing. Second by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing is now closed. The decision, though, is reserved in order for us to review anything that might be outstanding or any open site plans. The record will remain open for written comments. For anyone to follow up on the status of the application or to submit written comments, you can contact the Planning Department in a number of different ways. In person, planning is located in the west wing of Town Hall. Application documents and plans are available for inspection between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. or by phone, 631-957-3103, or by email, planningcomments@townofbabylonny.gov. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right, that concludes our 2 public hearings.